Today, I'm going to give you my five greatest NBA rivalries in NBA history. This is a team versus team thing. This is not a player versus player. I can certainly do a player versus player rivalry because there are definitely uh, player rivalries in NBA history, but I'm just going to give you what I think my five best rivalries of all time are. Again, like I said, team versus team, and we're gonna start off with an honorable mention that um it's the most recent one on here. We're not gonna have any current day teams or anything well, there are gonna be current day teams, but none of them are really gonna go up until now. Even though Pacers and Bucks might end up being something depending on what Giannis does if he leaves, how many times they meet, because it's been great every time they've met. But Um, honorable mention, Golden State and Cleveland. That was a good 4 years in a row that we had there where it was Golden State, Cleveland, Golden State, Cleveland, Golden State, Cleveland, Golden State, Cleveland. It's like obviously the Warriors won three out of four championships when they met each other. Cleveland won probably the most meaningful one, obviously down 3-1. LeBron versus Curry, Kyrie versus Durant. Like there were so many that was just ran the end of the 2010s over there. Again, not really much of a rivalry anymore because Cleveland was bad for a couple years afterwards. Once LeBron left, they jumped back to being good. Golden State ended up winning another ring versus the Celtics in 22, but they haven't really been the greatest team either since then. So we haven't been able to see that rivalry again. But going to number five, who I think is number five. Again, a lot of these can be switched around. If you think my fifth best rivalry is better than my number three, then that's fine. I just kind of thought about the history that some of these have. Um, and this might be a crazy one to put at five, but the Bulls and the Jazz. The Bulls and the Jazz met three times in the final or in the playoffs. Um, 1997, 1998, obviously Michael Jordan won the ring over them, and then 2000, they also met. Obviously, kept one of the greatest duos of all time from winning a ring, but just it was a great when you got there because again it happened the years right after another. This is lower on my list because it is not as long as some of these other rivalries, even though it is a great rivalry. But again, they played 12 games in the playoffs, four victories for the Jazz and eight for the Bulls. That just there you go. Like that just shows you. So that is my number five rivalry. My number four, Bulls and Pistons. Bulls Pistons met in the playoffs seven different times. Um, the Pistons won four matchups in 1988, 89, 90, 2007, and the Bulls won in 1974, 1991, and 2005. So they've met seven times total in the playoffs. Obviously, those three in a row from 88, 89, and 90 was obviously young Jordan and Isaiah Thomas. Um, the Pistons won in 89 and 90 in those year, and those were two of the years that they got by Jordan to get those back-to-back rings, which were so hard to get at the time because it was either Lakers, Celtics, or it was either the Bulls. There wasn't much of a in between in those 80 to 90 eras. So, and I mean, again, this would probably be on the player rivalries, but I mean, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan, I mean, they hated each other. Michael Jordan kept Isaiah Thomas off of the Dream Team because he said he wasn't going to do it if Isaiah was there. I mean, I don't even know how cool they are nowadays. I can't imagine it's as petty and as bad as it was back then, but I haven't seen many things where they have been near each other, even in their older ages of like 60s. I would assume that they are. But again, great rivalry because again, it was the bad boy Pistons, Bill Lambier, Isaiah, Joe Dumars, um yeah, I don't know a lot of people, but like obviously those were players that were there. This was right before Jordan was getting everything done in the 90s. Um, because obviously Jordan didn't win his first ring until 91, I believe. I think 91, 92, 93, and then he was out from 94, 95, and then he was there 96, 7, 8. But yeah, that's my number 4. Just a lot of history again. Not really too recent. I think that I saw that the most recent one was in 2000 and yeah, 2005, 2007, which would be like I don't even. That was before Derrick Rose and them. That was like Chauncey. That was like right after the Chauncey and Ben Wallace and everything win in 2004. But number 3, Celtics and 76ers. The Celtics and 76ers have met in the playoffs 22 times, which is an NBA record. This includes 7 series when the Sixers were the Syracuse Nationals, and the Celtics have won 15 of those series. Um, I mean, you can look at current day when you look at like the Tatum versus Embiid that we've seen a few times. Um, I'm sure like Pierce and Iverson probably played at least one against each other, but the main thing that we're talking about here is like John Havlicek versus like Julius Irving and Moses Malone, Larry Bird versus them, like 70s, 80s, even back in the 50s and stuff when Wilt was or I don't know if that would actually count because Wilt was a Philadelphia, was it Warrior or I always get it confused how Philly was back then when he was on the team because I don't know if they were the Sixers or if they were a different team. But even when Wilt played against Bill Russell, 22 times, like I said, an NBA record. Celtics won 15 out of 22 times. Um, I mean the most uh like prominent thing like right here Moses Malone, Charles Barkley, Julius Irving versus or not John Havlicek versus Larry Bird and Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale. They've played pretty much like throughout history. And that is one of the again, we haven't seen it in a few years because the Sixers kind of slid off a little bit and we've kind of been on opposite brackets of them. So I don't know when the next time we will see the series is, but I mean it's been entertaining every time. I mean whether one team does have more wins, sure, but I mean, the you talk about the players that have played. You talk about Will. You talk about Dr. J, Barkley, Moses Malone. Again, if it happened with Iverson, then Iverson. Um, I mean, and even up until current day, like Embiid, James Harden was on one of those teams. That was when Tatum dropped 51 in a game 7. So one of the more historic rivalries that we have. Second, I'm gonna give it to the to a series that we are about to see that I made a video on Pacers and Knicks. In 1993, the the Pacers and Knicks would play against each other, and the Knicks would win. Um, it was a best of 5 series at the time, so the Knicks won Game 4. And then in 1994, Reggie Miller taunts Spike Lee. It's funny that this rivalry, like obviously it's like Reggie Miller versus like John Starks and Ewing and all that, but it's like a good part of what people probably remember. It's Reggie Miller versus Spike Lee, doing the everything that they were doing, talking, chirping back and forth. And it's crazy because Spike Lee is still here today doing all that. But in 1994, Miller taunts Spike Lee in a comeback victory. Um, this is the choke, like when Reggie Miller is looking at Spike Lee doing the choking thing, one of the more iconic things. 1995, 8 points in 9 seconds, and Pacers eliminate Knicks again. Um, for the first time. Okay. And then we've got 1998. Miller, the Pacers closed out the series in game five. So we're like split right now, 2-2. 4-point play propels the Knicks upset. Um, so it's up 3-2 in the Knicks way. Pacers exact revenge, reach first NBA finals. Is this the Ooh, is this I don't know, if this was the Patrick Ewing thing or not, but, I mean, 20 I'll look it up. 2013, Hibbert blocks Carmelo, um, to seal the win, so the Pacers get another one, and then 2024, we know what happened, the Pacers and Knicks, and then, they obviously won, and then we're getting it for the, conference finals as well. So, I wanna see let's see. Um, oh, it was in 1995. Okay, 1995. Patrick Ewing missed a crucial right there layup that would have sent them to the finals and ended up costing them the series. If you don't know the play I'm talking about, go look up Patrick Ewing missed layup because it is one of the more heartbreaking misses ever. But um, again, it's not really a current day rivalry. It's a rivalry that like spilled from obviously the 90s. Because obviously, like, right, Jalen Brunson and Tyrese don't they were just at a WWE event together not that long ago doing stuff. It's not literally mutual hate there. But I mean, it's the second year in a row. It's a rivalry from back in the day where I mean, if you watch the Celtics series, I'm sure even in the Pistons series, the Knicks former players were out like every game at home. Um, Reggie Miller is probably going to be commentating on the game, which makes it great too. Um, which I'm sure the amount of stories we will hear and the amount of whatever that he's going to talk about, it's just going to be. Some people might get sick of it because of how much I'm sure that this is going to go on for him, but that's number two. Just because, again, I think the moments in it are more memorable than some of the other, even though it's not as long as obviously like a Celtics Sixers. But I also didn't want to. But I also think this is better, and I also didn't want to put Sixers in back to back in the top two because I didn't want people to get annoyed. But number one, if you couldn't guess, then you probably shouldn't watch this video. But the Celtics and Lakers have met in the NBA Finals 12 times. The Celtics won 9 times against them. A lot of those did happen in the. A lot of those did happen in the. Excuse me. Like early on. In the 60s, the Lakers had never beaten the Celtics. In the finals. That's why, like Will didn't really never had one against us. Jerry West didn't have one against us. Elgin Baylor never won a ring in general. They did end up winning one. It wasn't versus Sixers or the Celtics. I forget who it was versus, but I mean the 70s. Then you still got some Will. You still got some, or no, you don't have Wilt. Kareem came in 70, but he was in Milwaukee to start off his career. So the 70s they didn't play too much, but then obviously the 80s, I mean, come on now. Uh I think 4 years in a row from 83 to 87, 83 to 87, it was the championship kept bouncing back and forth. I think the Lakers won 83, Celtics 84, Lakers 85, Celtics 86, and then Lakers 87. But um Larry Bird Magic, probably the greatest player to play a rivalry we've ever had. just speaking off the dome, but excuse me. And then obviously the 90s didn't really have too much. The Celtics weren't good in the 90s. The Lakers weren't really that great for the early part of the 90s. Then obviously they get Kobe, they get Shaq. And then we see it, I think, in back-to-back years in '08 and '09, right? I think the Celtics won in '08, the Lakers won in '09. And we haven't seen it in the finals since then. There's been some good regular season matchups, talking about on Christmas Day or opening day. But I mean, the history that goes there, it's insane. Again, 12 times. And the thing is, 12 times, it seems like they've met so many more times. Now, granted, it is opposite conferences, so that is hard to do. Instead of like, the Sixers Celtics 22 times where they could just meet in the first round for, 4 years in a row and then that. But Celtics Lakers, I mean the personnel, the two greatest franchises NBA history, um, meeting that many times, having so many player to player things when you talk about is either Bill versus Wilt, it's Larry versus Magic for so many times. It's Pierce versus Kobe a couple times. Again, we haven't really seen it since since that 2010s area, but it's still it's still marketed as the best NBA rivalry, even though if it's not necessarily carrying over to current day, because again, there's not a lot of rivalries in current day just because again there's more mutual respect in the game now. There's more, it's harder to see the team at the same team every year in the playoffs to build something because teams are constantly getting better. There's way more teams than there were in the you know 80s or something. So that's why we don't see a lot of them today, but still, Celtics Lakers best rivalry of all time. It would be something if we could get back there. To get back to the rivalry era because I think a lot of people would like that, but I think it's just too hard. And I think current day, like it would be good to do because you got LeBron and Luca on one side. We won't have Tatum for a year, but you got Tatum and Brown on the other side. I think it would be great. Because then again, you can even look at the Tatum versus Luca thing because right, they were in the finals last year. Granted, it wasn't the Lakers and Luca; it was the Mavericks and Luca in the finals last year. But there is something that could brew there if the Lakers put their stuff together. Hopefully, the Celtics don't tear down too much, and then I think we could get back there. And I think it would be I think it would be great. I think a lot of people would enjoy having that back. Even though like the old heads too that are like there's no rivalries, there's nothing that excites them. So greatest rivalries again I gave you five an honorable mention. I don't know honestly how much this will change in recent history, but those were let me know if I missed any or if let me know if I missed any rivalries, and let me know some good player to player rivalries too, and maybe I'll do something with those.